Hi, thanks for joining me today. The topic will be using business slowdown to rev things up. First, a very heartfelt message to Florida, all of the southern states, North and South Carolina, Georgia, Tennessee, Virginia, really sending love and prayer and blessings your way. And for Florida, with this next hurricane, Milton, rolling in tomorrow, I'm just praying hard that as many of you as possible are able to evacuate, that everyone stays safe and makes it through this storm. And I'm going to continue to do that until this whole thing is over, and pray no more are coming in this season. This has been a lot. So my thoughts are with you, and I ask my listeners and viewers to please lend their prayers and energy to that endeavor as well. Let's jump into this topic. It's one pretty much everybody goes through this. I mean, it's a rare business that doesn't experience a slowdown. My business tends to be cyclical, as a lot of businesses are. And so it has ebb and flow. And election years tend to be more difficult for everyone, and especially as election day nears. I noticed in the past when I was new especially with my spirituality business, that when business would slow down and I would worry about it, it would slow down further. And so I consciously decided I'm going to try something new. And that something new is what I'm going to share with you today, that actually worked to get business moving again. It's easy to become anxious and worried, or even get scared, because bills still need to be paid. But you can learn to control your energy and your emotions to keep yourself grounded and encourage your business to thrive. Negative emotions block business and other good things from happening. And that's why it's important to have a plan for channeling your worry and fear into creativity and improvement. So here are some things that you can do for mind, body, and soul, and for your business while things are going slower than usual. I'm going to be jumping into those tips very shortly. I want to start this with just reminding you of the importance of being grateful. Please remember to be grateful for having this time to reflect, relax, and work on some projects you haven't had time to complete. When you have built your business to the point where downtimes happen to you less often, and when people recover their equilibrium following our upcoming election here in the US, you're going to look back on the time you had and wish perhaps you did more with that time. Again, this is a situation I've dealt with concerning my own business numerous times, and it's well established. Yes, I have a large clientele, but downtimes still happen. And I've gathered these tips, again, by going through the downtimes myself. And you know how I love to experiment. So I experimented with my energy, my thoughts, and my own business during downtimes. And now it's time to share them with you. So some of this is worded for spiritual healing businesses, but all of it is pertinent to every business out there. So here we go. Number one, do bookkeeping. I really don't do that. I tend to do it like at the end of the year, or maybe twice through the year. So downtimes are a good time to go back and do your bookkeeping, get it up to date, so tax time's not so terrible. If you hire someone to do this, then great, go ahead. But I know most of us, like myself, have a pile of receipts, and I have to go in and gather information in various places for my records. So it's all waiting for our attention. When business is rolling really good, it's hard to get to those things, but don't worry, not everything on my list is as boring as bookkeeping, but it all matters. Number two, boost your marketing. If you've not already done so, pick 2 social media platforms that you want to commit to posting on regularly. Does not mean every day, but consciously in ways that are going to promote your business or services. Most of them allow you to schedule future posts in some way. And when you have downtime, you can post far ahead. It's a great time to do that. Everything you do in the area of marketing is going to bring business to you. Maybe not immediately. I have plenty of clients who tell me they've listened to my podcast for years before they schedule a session. And I'm sure there's things like that in your business too. You never know when that person will decide to set up a session with you. But I have others who might call right after they hear the first episode. You never know what seeds you're planting for future business. So if you're looking for something to make this easier on an ongoing basis, you can get your social media posts scheduled on something like Hootsuite or a similar service. You can schedule Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, other social media, and just let it happen all by the power of the internet magic. Some of the services available are free. Number 3 is make a budget for the future. If you don't have a budget, this is a great time to make one. If you have one, look at where you can shave unnecessary expenses or reinvest in your business for the future. Do you need to spend more on education? Perhaps your website needs an upgrade. I've got mine going through a massive upgrade right now. I started my business on a shoestring. There's no two ways around it. So I know you don't have to drown in debt to start a business, but I believe in smart money management. When business is flowing, we're really busy. We might be signing up for apps and services, then we forget we never use. So things like that, you can go back in and clean up. And that's for your personal life too. So maybe TV apps you don't even use anymore, or games you don't play anymore. Take a look at all of that. So this kind of thing can be especially true for apps and services that charge you monthly, and you probably don't need some of them. I like to look at business expenses a few times a year and reevaluate what's working for me and what isn't. Money pulled from services that you no longer need can be reinvested better in something your business needs now. Number 3, clean and get organized. This is a good one. I've talked about this on the podcast before, how great it is for your energy, your focus, your concentration, creativity, to not have clutter and to make sure your environment is clean. So physically clean and organize your workspace. This is true whether you work from home or at a commercial office. Remember to energetically cleanse it too, which you can do through burning sage. There's a hair on my face. Sage or Palo Santo. You can use essential oils to do that. You're going to be shifting energies, banishing any stale, unwanted energy, and setting new intentions for your business. While you're organizing, remember to include organizing your inbox, computer files, phone files. Deleting those is one of my favorite tasks to do while I'm at the car dealership for hours waiting for my car to be ready. It's an hour and a half away, so I'm kind of stuck there. So I bring my laptop and I sit down and I do the boring thing of just taking out photos I don't need anymore, removing files, all that good stuff. You can tackle it when you have some time on your hands. So just as cleaning and purging removes stale and excess energy from your workspace, keeping your inbox and online files pared down has a similar effect. You will feel lighter having done it. And think about the last time you took a vehicle load of items to a donation center. I know for me, it's like, wow, the difference is immediate. I feel the difference in the energy of my home right away. It happens every time. So following your cleaning and organizing, you're going to feel refreshed. It gives you kind of a personal, energetic restart. Number 4, get a bit of pampering. Your immediate response to a business slowdown is, for most people, is to cut their spending drastically. But you would benefit from a bit of self-care. We don't have to go crazy about it, but you can get a massage, read a book you've been longing to dive into, do some healing on yourself, get a pedicure. Maybe you can exchange with another provider for a service. Take a long soak in a deliciously scented bath. Do you know the show Parks and Rec? I love that. As the character Donna says, treat yourself. I do not agree with the reckless spending she and her friend go on, but I do love that show. So it's not about going on some crazy spending spree or putting yourself in further monetary debt in any way, but just a little bit of self-care that your body, mind, and spirit are going to appreciate. Do something enjoyable just for you. Free time has presented itself. So take the opportunity. No excuses, because you can come up with all kinds of excuses when it comes to taking care of yourself. When you work in a spirituality business, you're putting a lot of energy out into helping others. Same is true for any kind of medical business. Take your own advice and treat yourself. Treat your body to some exercise as well. Get the energy moving, work out, go for a walk, get maybe a great smoothie or delicious salad, fresh juice, but align yourself holistically. Number 5, create future content for your site. Being consistent in your blogging and your social media posts are going to boost your success. It can be difficult to find time to do this when business is rolling. I have to literally schedule it in my phone calendar, block the time out, and remind myself to do these things. So you can use downtime to schedule ahead. If you have some time, get 3 to 6 months of content to your site ready. What a relief to know that's done and rolling for all that time. This is such a wonderful use of time. And then when you are slammed with clients, your blog goes on promoting your message. Next is freebies for your clients, your customers. The people who've already connected with you and already love what you do deserve some love back. So create something free for your current clients. It can be a booklet, a mini course, a guided meditation, a special edition newsletter, something just as awesome for your already rocking clients, followers, and fans. Make it something that adds value and is not just a hidden advertisement. Giving is positive energy through and through. Next, collaborate with a spiritual business friend. I have several of those, quite a few. Luckily, where I'm at in the Sedona area, there's a lot of people working in the spirituality field, so we can boost each other, help each other, give suggestions, talk about how we overcame issues. But it needs to be the right person, and your special buddy for this should be someone who works in a field that's in alignment with your work, something complementary to what you do, but not exactly the same. Make sure you genuinely want to work with this person, that you feel comfortable referring people to them. You can work on a blog swap or a podcast. This brings your audience to their people and vice versa. It's a great way to get your message out to a whole new audience of potential clients, and you're helping your friend do the same thing. Next is conducting your review of strengths, weaknesses, and opportunities. On a sheet of paper, you just create 3 columns. Put one of these words at the top. The first column is going to say strengths. The next is weaknesses. The next is opportunities. So you're going to take some time to think about your business. First, list your business's strengths in that first column, then your weaknesses in the second, and the opportunities you have in the third. When you've completed this for your business, identify one of the weaknesses or opportunities and get a book or research how you can turn that into a strength. This includes finding someone to help you transform a weakness or opportunity. We can't do everything ourselves, nor should I believe that we should. I honestly thought I was going to build a new website for myself. It was giving me anxiety attacks and headaches thinking about it, trying to do it. I finally hired somebody, and instantly it was like, oh, good, that's one giant thing off my list that I'm not my expertise. Use experts to assist you when you need it. Otherwise, you can get stuck because all you have is your own thoughts and ideas, and you've probably already tried those. So get some fresh eyes on the issue. Next, create or participate in a social media challenge. These can be a fantastic way to connect to potential clients and get your creative juices flowing. You can use the hashtags to engage with new online friends and people that you might want to work with in the future. Look up social media challenge on Instagram or your favorite social media platform for ideas of what's happening, what you might want to jump in or create your own. Participate in existing challenges. You don't have to recreate the wheel to get benefits from this particular approach. Next is get inspired. Notice there's a lot of creativity involved with this. Good thing last week's episode was about crystals for creativity. So inspiration's not something that gets a free refill the moment you're running out of it. You need to take the time to invoke your own creative muses. Go see a film you usually wouldn't, or listen to music that's not already on your playlist. Visit a new museum or an art gallery, or if they have rotating art through there, visit one you've been through before. Paint, dance, take an improv class. It's not about being fantastically talented, just creative juices flowing. So when you do creativity in one area, it boosts your overall creativity, which is also inspiration and ideas for your business. So you're going to find yourself coming up with more solutions, getting great ideas for your business. And did you know that being creative raises your frequency? And the higher your frequency, the more attractive you are to people seeking guidance and assistance. If you want high frequency clients, your frequency needs to be high and stay high. And it's the keeping it high that can be tricky. Next, review your to do list and let's get real about it. I'm guilty of having a to do list that is long and it keeps growing. So I have to keep getting real and cutting it down into more bite sized pieces. When things are slow, you can go through that list and ask yourself, am I really going to do this? Is this a reasonable timeline? If not, if you're not even going to do it, take it off the list. If it's not a reasonable timeline or it's not urgent now, figure out when is a reasonable timeline, when you are most likely to get to it, and put that on your calendar. Consider having a list of daily tasks, weekly tasks, and then one for longer term projects. That way you have the pleasure of crossing things off your list, which is really great for motivation. And the more you accomplish on your list, the more motivated you are to keep going and crossing more off. Not just crossing them off, but actually completing them, just to be very clear. Next, make a dent in your long-term goals. If you have a goal to write a book or complete a major project, break it down into steps and make a dent in it. Complete a writing project, get out of the house and sketch. Brainstorm your retreat. Whatever you've been wanting to do, start now. Otherwise, you could find that this remains a goal and never becomes an accomplishment. You have some time now, so that excuse is off the table. Let's start accomplishing and having less regrets later. The next thing would be create new offers or classes for your clients, your customers. So do your current offerings and classes need a little refresh? Is it time to increase your prices a bit or reevaluate how your pricing structure goes? Can you try some new cards? Flex your intuitive muscles and build your skills up in your current practice. And this goes for non-spirituality businesses too. We do so much on rote, meaning we do it without even thinking about it. Pretend you're your own consultant. Look at your business from that observer's point of view, and you might be surprised to find how much updating your business can use. I do this a couple times a year at least, and I'll suddenly see things on my website that I see so much I didn't see it anymore, and I realize I need to update that. I need to change it, or I need to explain or describe a service better. It's not about your business having faults. It's just that everything could be better for most businesses. And when you have time to make these changes, jump on it. So let's talk about using your tools. Yes, most people listening to my show are on a spiritual path and you've learned some tools and you're using some tools. But when things aren't going great, we can get into a state where we forget which tools we have. So I want to remind you of a few things. Number one, use your practices. It's not enough to teach them to other people. You need to do them yourself, even when things are a little scary, especially when business is slow, because this is the kind of time when you need to keep yourself spiritually healthy. So journal, work out, meditate, release trauma, dance, sing, move, do emotional clearing. Periods of challenge is what these actions were made for. Use them and you will be able to rise above and thrive by feeling and releasing what's there and then getting back into an expanded state. So do it as often as possible. I like to do my practices, and once I'm in a better state of mind, make my decisions and state my goals. You never want to make big decisions from a place of fear or contraction. Number two, track your data, not just feelings. If you are an empath like me, it can be really easy to get too caught up in feelings and not data. So I'm going to talk about this. Do you track your monthly income? How about the number of leads you've generated, the traffic to your website, the number of sales? If you do this, it can help you step out of feelings and emotions and into facts. And sometimes that is necessary because we might be mistaken about business being as slow as we think it is, or even being slow. Don't get me wrong, because a lot of what I do is done intuitively, but it's the numbers that tell me the truth. And so when I can get out of the distortions and illusions that can creep in when emotions start to get activated, I do this and it shows me where I need to focus more or less energy or attention. And sometimes I can relax. Things are really barely contracted at all. Emotions can be deceiving. So give yourself some concrete data to show you what's going on. And then at least if the data shows that business has slowed down significantly, you can put all your creative energy into all these steps we've talked about today. Right now, we're coming up on the presidential election here in the US, and you can go back to your numbers from fall of 2020 and see if there was a dip then too. There definitely was for me every election year. Perhaps it's just a cycle for you, and it's true for more than elections. Here in the Sedona area, spirituality businesses peak in fall and spring, not so much in winter and summer. So your area will have its own ebb and flow too, especially if you're in a tourist area like we are. Even if your business is strictly virtual with a worldwide audience, you're able to see typical busy and slow times for your business. And it's grounding to know you're just in a cycle. Next, number 3, deepen your sales and marketing skills. So this is a great time to tighten and improve your game. You can learn more about your target audience. Make sure you're speaking, thinking, and writing in terms that your specific audience wants. Every time I've had a challenging month, I like to use it as a time to study, refine what I'm doing, improve the quality of my communications and processes around my business. Maybe times are hard, or maybe we just need to be better, or both. There's always room for improvement. Number 4, experiment with different offers. In different times, different things are going to work for you. In 2020, with all the free COVID money, people were spending like crazy. It actually was the best year I've ever had in business. But at that time, $10,000 offerings were considered cheap, and online things were a cool new idea. The fact is, we don't know what works until we try it. So different prices, different packaging, different ways to deliver what you do. If something doesn't seem to be working, don't just rinse and repeat, and don't give up. You've been led here for a reason. You have a passion for it for a reason. Try something new within what your business is. Business changes, people's interests change. Make sure you're keeping up. Number 5, think big picture. The fact is, we move through small and large cycles. Sometimes it's spring where business is booming, and sometimes it's winter and things just freeze up. The single biggest thing that stops me from getting dramatic or feeling overwhelmed or stuck in the weeds is that I'm thinking of my business in terms of years and not months. So that's another reason, like, look at your numbers for the year. Things tend to even out. If I worried about a slow day, instead of looking at my entire month, I'd see that I had a slow day here and then a really great day here that more than made up for it. And the same goes true for months in a year, weeks in a month. This point of view tends to lead to a different kind of decision making. You make more rational, logical decisions instead of panic-based ones. So in conclusion, I hope you found this list inspiring, and you can use some of it when you find your business is going through a slow period. It never lasts as long if you can put energy and time into growing it. So let me know your ideas for overcoming slowdowns. Tune in next week. The topic is Heyoka empaths, which are considered the most rare kind. And in the meantime, may your angels surround you. May your angels protect you every moment, every day of your life. I'll see you next week.